Hey, 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 welcome, people. All right, let me get this music off here. All right, welcome to our first day of our free Nepeto $1,000 workshop. I am super excited that you all are here. I know we've got 30 people in here already. I wanted to give folks a little bit of extra time just to kind of funnel in. I know we had some issues, people getting the right link, all that stuff. And I want to make sure that people don't miss this if they're trying to be here on time. All right. So yeah, we are going to be taking the next 3 days. It'll be roughly an hour every day. That's sort of what the time that I've budgeted out for this. If we have to go longer, then that's fine. Like if we're doing some really good Q&A or finding some really good stuff, I'm happy to go a little bit longer. But the plan is roughly an hour today, roughly an hour tomorrow, and roughly an hour on Sunday. Tomorrow and Sunday will be at 2 p.m. instead of late at night. Okay, so our goal here, or my goal here, because it's a one-man show. I'm used to saying our and we and all that stuff. My goal here is I want two things. One, I want people who either have struggled with Nepeto or who have never used Nepeto to feel comfortable with it, to be able to find some stuff and work their way around and feel like it's a tool that that is useful to them and worth their money to get. Okay, so that's the first main thing. The second thing is I want to take that a step further, like to sort of the most practical, tangible level, in that by the end of Sunday night, so this is Friday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By the end of Sunday night, I want everyone here, and there's about 200 people here that that signed up for this. I want every single person to have found about $1,000 worth of profitable products on their own. So the key thing here is we are going to be going through Nepeto together, and I'm going to be finding you things that you can flip. But the goal here is I'm trying to show you like the hows and the whys and the wheres and all of that stuff. Because if you're committing an hour each of these days to me to listen to me talk about this, please also commit one more hour to yourself to actually do this. Okay. The big takeaway here is like this tool is so plug and play. It's so easy to just dive right in and immediately start finding stuff. I've used a lot of web scrapers over the years, and they all function very similarly. But oftentimes I felt like it would take a very long time. Like you had to do a bunch of training. You really had to spend like a week or 2 weeks really diving into the system to figure out how it works. And Nepeto's strong suit is that you get Nepeto, you log in, 10 seconds later you found something. Like it's so plug and play, which is a big reason why we've pretty much moved exclusively over to Nepeto as far as our like OA web scraping softwares go. I've used a lot of others in the past for many, many, many years, and I'm still affiliated with many others, but Nepeto has replaced them for my personal business. And so I wanted to put on this workshop. I don't own Nepeto. I don't work for Nepeto. So there's nothing there. It's just I teach people how to sell stuff on Amazon. And this is probably my most used tool, I'd say, for sourcing. Obviously, things like Keepa or like your listing software, things like that are going to come into play. But as far as like, how am I finding stuff? I'm doing this more. We've pretty much gotten rid of virtual assistants. This can do pretty much everything that they can. Yeah, it's so incredibly powerful and so incredibly easy to hop right in. Okay, so while we're going through these nights, feel free to drop any questions that you want. I know there is at least one of the other guys who helps run Nepeto who is here in the chat who can help answer some questions. Again, like I don't want to present myself as like some like Nepeto expert savant or something like that. Like I've been using this for a couple months and I use it quite a bit. There's plenty of features that I don't use. I have no idea what they do or how they work. I don't spend my time learning every single in and out of every single tool that I use. For me, it's more, okay, once I find stuff that works for me, I just do more of that. And that's how we've built our business. And I say usually the simplest path is going to be your best path. Okay, so I will share everything that I know. And I want to continue to harp back on the fact that the strength of Nepeto is in the simplicity. So if you're really getting into the weeds, you can, and there can be profit there, but like the strength of it is how simple things can be. And so I want you to always go back to that. Like if something is feeling weird or strange or difficult, go back to like, okay, let me just, they call it the KISS method, the keep it stupid simple. Okay, so we're gonna always harp back to that KISS method. Like let's just keep this super simple. Okay. As we're going, if you have questions, feel free to ask them in chat. It'll help me as far as like answering questions that I know the answer to or that I can help. It'll help me if you put like a hashtag question or a hashtag ask, and that'll kind of pop out to me in chat a little bit more, especially if there's a bunch of people in chat having conversations, things like that, which is fine. Feel free, like talk to one another. But if you have something specific to me that you want me to touch on, put just like a hashtag question or a hashtag ask, and that'll kind of pop out to me. Okay. All right, let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so first and foremost, obviously this workshop is free. Now, Nepeto, the tool, it's not a free tool. It's incredibly powerful. It would be insane if that were free. That's impossible for a tool like that to be free. However, I have managed to get us a free trial coupon because I didn't want to make people like sign up for a free workshop and then be like, I gotcha, but you got to pay all this money to try out this tool that I'm talking about in the workshop. So I was able to get a free trial. So if you don't yet have Nepeto and you want just a free trial, just to the stuff that we are working with today, go ahead and scan that. Now, because today is Black Friday, there is actually a secondary deal as well. I will drop this into the chat here, and I will put it as a caption if you are watching the replays here. Okay. So they do have a Black Friday special. This is slightly different. This is for people where you think you might expand into the Walmart world of selling. Okay, there's a lot of Amazon sellers who have started to also sell on Walmart. If that is you currently, or if you think that might become you, then this deal down below is actually slightly better than this deal. This one will get you a free trial and then 50% off. This one will get you, I don't believe that there's a free trial, but it will get you 50% off of all of their stuff combined. So they have a Walmart scanning tool, some Walmart calculators, along with all of the Nepeto stuff, the Amazon calculators, the scraping software, all of that. So both are great deals. I mean, I'm super thankful that that they've been able to give us that. And this coincided with Black Friday, so I could be like, or if you're also interested in Walmart, check this out. Okay. But yeah, check those things out. If you don't yet have Nepeto, there is your free option. What I would recommend is, like if you're watching this on your phone, I recommend you go to a computer because I'm going to be doing a lot of screen sharing. And ideally, you can do some of this stuff along with me. So like if you just have your laptop, have me in one screen and have Nepeto like on another tab. Or if you have two screens, like me over there and Nepeto over there, so you can kind of do some of this stuff yourself to see just how simple this is. I always hate it when people are like, oh yeah, it's so simple. And then I can't replicate what they're doing because it's just like, oh, they have all these extra tools and extra things. And I'm trying to keep this so simple because it's so easy to find stuff. Okay. I will be going over towards the end. I'll go over some of the questions that I pulled from our Facebook group. I've had a couple polls over there, had people shoot me questions. I'll go through your guys' questions as well. But let's dive in. Okay, so we've got the signups, we've got the coupons. If you guys are interested in that, you can scan the QR code for the free trial or go down there if you're wanting to get Walmart stuff as well. Our goal is for everyone here to find $1,000 of product profit for themselves. So not necessarily just me, but for you, okay? I'm going to show you guys around Nepeto. Now, one slightly confusing part, and this is true of a couple different tools, but the brand Nepeto, they own a number of different tools. So like, just like I was saying, like if you're a Walmart seller, they have other tools that you can sell as well. When I say, oh yeah, I use Nepeto, depending on who I'm talking to and what they've used, that could mean something entirely different to many different people. So I'll try to break this down for you to make it a little bit more simple. So Nepeto is like their Amazon side of things, and then Martyr is their Walmart side of things, but they're both owned by the same company. I think the company's just Nepeto is the parent company. You guys can, if you're in chat here, you can correct me if I say anything wrong. But under Nepeto, there are three main sort of pillars of tools, okay? there is the web scraping stuff. So this is what this is what this whole workshop is about. Okay, this is the meat and potatoes. They are scanning websites. How it functions is basically it goes to a website, let's say Kohl's.com, and Kohl's.com, in like the back end source code of the website, it will list the UPC of every single product on the website. And so what Nepeto is doing is it's pulling that UPC, and then it's pulling the price of that UPC on Kohl's, and then it's plugging that into Amazon, checking that UPC, checking the Amazon price, pulling the fees and the data and all of that stuff, and comparing everything. That's how it's finding the ROI and the return. Everything is it's coming from that. So that's what a web scraper does. That's what this Nepeto 3.0 web scraping is doing. That's fundamentally how this functions. Okay, so that's the first pillar. The next pillar is there is a OA, an online arbitrage calculator and reverse sourcing tool. So I'll show you this on my screen real fast. I'll just briefly go over these stuff, and then we'll go back to the meat and potatoes. Okay, let me share my screen for you real fast. Let's see, entire screen. Okay, so this is the Chrome extension part of Nepeto. We'll make this big for you. This is the Chrome extension part of Nepeto. Anytime you are on any page on Amazon, it will pull up this, and this is basically your OA calculator. So this can replace things like Seller Amp. It can replace things like Rev Seller if you're using those other things. Awesome. Yeah, yes, Tracy did introduce me to Nepeto. Yeah, she was one that's like, Nate, you gotta try this. It's so good. So I appreciate you, Tracy. Okay, so this is the online calculator part. So you can put in like let's just pretend we're getting this for Black Friday for $100. All right, boom, you see all your calculations there, your IP issues, you've got your charts, all of this data. Great tool. It used to be free. Now this costs $15 a month if you buy it separately. But since I'm assuming everyone here is signing up for that QR code, you get it as part of your master plan. You don't pay anything extra for this if you are in the master plan. Okay. So this is the web scraping tool. So sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I use Nepeto for that. They could be talking about the OA calculator part of it, okay? And then lastly, I gotta unshare my screen here. Lastly, there is an app. So if you do retail arbitrage, there is a phone app. And again, this will replace things like Seller Amp. This will replace things like Scoutify 2. It'll replace things. Oh, you can't really see that. It's not really focusing, but that's all right. Maybe it'll focus. No, you get the idea though. All right. It's a phone app. You scan things in store. Lots of really cool features there. Again, it's not, those are like the nice to haves. I love that they come free with your subscription. I think most scanning apps are very similar, very comparable. And so the fact that this comes free with anyone who is using Nepeto, then it's just like, okay, well, obviously this is the no-brainer. There's no reason to spend extra money on something like Seller Amp or something like Rev Seller when this comes for free with your subscription already, okay? The other cool thing actually with the Chrome extension, I forgot to mention this, is, let's see, share my screen again. All right, so with the Chrome extension, try to make this full screen. With the Chrome extension over here, you can go to a website and you can search for things directly on the website. So like, let's say I'm on GameStop right now. You can highlight something and then right click and click this little button that says Search Nepeto. And it pulls up a screen right here on your website. So I don't have to go off of it. I don't need to go to Amazon. You can do your manual reverse searching right here on a web page. Super simple. You just copy it, paste it. You don't actually paste it. You just copy it, right click, and there it is. All right. So we can buy that for 70. We can sell it for 70. Obviously, that's not a good deal, but that's how this works. Really useful, especially on some websites that might be unscrapable. So things like maybe ColourPop comes to mind. It's a website that that you can't scrape. Okay, so really cool stuff. I like it a lot. Now, the meat and potatoes of this, again, I'm gonna harp back to this, is the web scraping tool. This is Nepeto 3.0. When you log in, hopefully by this point everyone has an account. It shouldn't take you very long to get this all set up. When you log in, this is your homepage. Okay, now there's a bunch of different things that you can do here. I'm going to talk about them, but I want to keep doubling down on this advice of keep it stupid simple. You can really get into the weeds here, and that's fine, but the strength of Nepeto is in the simplicity, okay? So if we play into that strength, I think you're going to have a lot more success a lot faster, if that makes sense, okay? So a couple different things here. You've got your basic online arbitrage section. This is the main web scraper. This is where, in my opinion, you are going to be spending 95% of your time. It's where I spend 95% of my time, and I think most people are similar to me. So maybe you'll be different, maybe you'll do something else, but this is where most people spend most of their time, okay? So this is big. When you click in here, what this is doing is, again, I mentioned this earlier, they're scraping these websites nonstop. I was just talking to their owners, like, hey, can I actually, like, what are the numbers behind this? And they're scanning over 1 million products every 24 hours and finding a positive result. So a result that hits their criteria, that has some profit listed on it. They're finding a profitable product every second. So roughly 1 product per second, which means if you do the math on that, it comes out, it was like 82,000, I think, products per day. It was like 60 seconds in a minute, and then 60 minutes in an hour, and then 24 hours in a day. I think it came out to like 82,000, if I remember my math correctly, maybe 84. It's 80 something thousand profitable products that this is finding every single day. And so like usually what I see sometimes with people talking about web scrapers is like, oh, well, it's just so saturated. Like everyone just sees the same stuff. I don't know the numbers. I don't know how many users they have. Let's just say 1,000 users, okay? 4,000 users. I don't know. Like however many users there are enough leads so every single user could purchase 20 I did the math earlier. Every single user could purchase 20 different ASINs every 24 hours, and there would be no overlap until you get towards about 5,000 users. And again, I don't know how many users they have. I don't think it's a ton because they are like brand new on the block. Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty wild. And again, this is assuming a couple things. It's assuming like you're purchasing 20 different ASINs every day. That is a lot of different ASINs to be purchasing. Even for me, and like we have a fairly large budget, that would be a pretty sizable day. Yeah. So, and then let's say that there is some overlap. Okay, well, 2 people overlapping, that's fine. 3 people, that's fine. 10 people, that's probably fine. 20 people, it gets a little spotty once 20 people are all kind of jumping on the same thing. But it's not like oh, everyone sees the same deals. No, there's 80,000 every single day. There's 80 something thousand deals that everyone can see. And if someone doesn't work that day, like there's one less person. So it's just, there's so many deals. The other interesting thing to think about is if a website has UPCs attached to it, and if those UPCs correctly match an Amazon listing, then there is basically a 100% chance that the website that you're sourcing on is being scraped. So some people are like, well, I prefer manual sourcing because manual sourcing is just better. And there is a time and a place. I love manual sourcing as well. I'm not knocking that at all. What I will say is if you are manually sourcing on a website and there's no other like funky nuances and there's no reasons why a certain product would not get scraped, it's being scraped. And so that you might as well speed up your process, right? So this is what you're looking at. You can refresh this page. It's not sorted, unless I specifically sort it by one of these. It's not sorted in any way. It's actually just showing me a random, I think there's like 30 products on this front page. It's just picking a random 30 products from the 80,000 that it's found in the past 24-ish hours, or maybe 48 hours. It's just picking 30 at random and showing them to me. So every single time we refresh, we're going to see something different. So we see Dickies, Adidas, Adidas, Wacoal. As soon as I refresh this, we're going to see 4 different things every single time that we refresh it. Jennifer, does the app work on Android? Yes, I'm holding an Android phone in my hand and I have Nepeto up on it. So yes, it works on Android. I don't think they're in the Google App Store. So you need to go, you need to log into Nepeto and then right here, download our scanning app and profit calculator. You'll have to go through the steps because it's a little bit funky how you have to download it because I don't think they're on the Google Play Store yet. They can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. All right. So yeah, every time we refresh this again, we get different products. Okay, so this is the main meat and potatoes. I'll briefly go through these other ones. Okay, the live search, they actually just added this. Another massive thing that Nepeto is just crushing the competition with. It's how many new features they're coming out with. So about 2 months ago, the big thing that they added on the app was they added an aisle scan. So you can take a video, not a picture, a video of an entire grocery aisle, and it'll scan every single product in the grocery aisle. And once you're done, you just press scan the video, and it scans it all and shows you all of the results. So that was about 2 months ago. Last month, their massive update was the live search. So instead of just relying on currently like this OA, they're doing it automatically for us, which I love. That's the strength. It's the ease of use. We don't have to put any filters in. It's just finding stuff for us already. It's always scanning websites. If there is a specific website that you want to scan, or a specific part of a website, or a specific sale, or a specific coupon that you want to use on a specific sale, that's when you go to this live search feature. So for example, we could open up, I'm sure that Kohl's has some great sales today. So 15 for every 50, that comes out to roughly 30% off. And then take an extra 15 with a coupon. So we got 30% off plus 15% off. Let's just call that 45. It's not exact because of how things stack up, but let's just call it 45. So you could do a new live search and we could go into Kohl's and let's just say I buy a lot of bras from Kohl's. Let's go to their women's clearance section. Okay, so you could go to women's clearance. Boom, right there. Paste that in there. Now, a couple websites are coded a little bit funky, so every once in a while you'll get like a bad result here. You can either contact them or just change what page you're trying to search on the website. Kohl's is kind of notorious for this in that they code a couple of different sales pages slightly differently and they change it frequently. So sometimes this will break, but anyone who's used any web scraper knows occasionally parts of websites will break just because of how they're coded, okay? So we've searched that. From here, you can start adding in coupons and things like that. So once this starts finding product, it's going to search that whole first page. So right now it's going through all, however many products are on this first page, like 80 something. All right. And then it's going to go to page 2 and page 3, and it's going to go through all 46 pages of these women clearance clothing products. And it's going to go through all 2,184 of them. And then from there, we can start attaching our coupons and seeing other stuff. So this live search, it's not looking for profitable products. The regular one, it's only showing you profitable products. This is showing you any product that matches. As soon as it finds a match, it's showing it in here. It's just connecting the UPC to the Amazon listing, and you are trying to figure out if it's profitable. You can do some filtering, things like that, but really, really useful. I'm using this more and more. It's a brand new feature, so I do like it quite a bit. If you have one of these running, pro tip, you do need to leave this window open in order for it to continue. I believe I was talking to them and they are adding a like sort of background process for this, but I don't think that's ready quite yet. I think that should be coming early next year if I remember correctly. Okay, so that's the live search feature. Usually that'll take a while because it's scanning a lot of products. So I'll start my day there. Like I'll do 1 or 2 live searches there. I'll have that in a window to the side, and then I will continue doing my other stuff and circle back a couple hours later. Okay. There's a storefront scanner, which is very interesting. You can see here, there's a couple storefronts that I've already scanned. You can upload one of these. Unfortunately, I don't know who this is, so I apologize if I was scanning one of you guys here, but you can scan someone's storefront, and any product that is in that person's storefront that Nepeto has found on a different website, it's shown right here. So I can see here, this seller probably is buying some stuff from Hartman Variety, okay? And I can see here they're getting 125% ROI on that, 131% ROI on that. Maybe 12, maybe they had to reprice this and it's not going well for them. This one's on Zoro for 50% ROI. Ooh, that seems good. That's a good sales rank too. I might save this one for later. All right. And you can source this stuff right here. So we can click here to pull up the Amazon listing. This will pull up the ASIN and all the data that we want. And then we can click here to buy it from Zoro. All right. So 1769. Amazon says it's selling for 35 and some change. Yep, 35 and some change. Very interesting. All right. So yeah, that is the storefront scanner. So you can save a couple people's storefronts, things like that, which is interesting. And you can, it saves these storefronts historically for you. So you can kind of go back and revisit some people. All right. Whoops. It always starts to slow down when I've got a video going on. I'm trying to do all these processes. Okay. So that was the storefront scanner. The Be the Only Seller one, I don't use a ton. In fact, I've only used it a handful of times. Basically, what it's doing is similar to the main OA search. It's searching these websites for products where currently on Amazon, no one is selling it. And so what this is used for usually is finding two things. It's either good for finding discontinued products where it's just no longer being made, and so no one can get a hold of it, no one has stock of it on Amazon, and Nepeto has been able to find some stock and is showing it on Amazon. Okay, so it's used for discontinued products or products that have such a ludicrous sales velocity that people can't keep it in stock. So like something went viral. So an example of this, if you were alive, what was it, a year ago or 2 years ago, the milk crate challenge on TikTok, where people just made these mountains with milk crates, and then you'd have to like climb to the top. I don't know, it was like 6 or something milk crates tall, and you'd see if you can climb all the way up and climb all the way back down, and then no one could do it, and everyone's like breaking their bones and all this stuff, and it's going viral. You could not find milk crates anywhere. Milk crates were going for like $100 a piece on Amazon. It was pretty crazy. And so you'll find both of those things here in the Be the Only Seller area. I don't do a lot of this. You really have to put in some extra work. It's not like everything on this page is profitable. It's just everything on this page could be profitable, maybe, but it's things that are out of stock. It's things that no one else is currently selling. All right. I guess the third feature would be if you're going into a season. So maybe you're just about to start like Easter stuff, for example. There's probably no one who is currently selling Easter stuff on Amazon. However, if you find some Easter stuff at a store, we're only a couple months away. By the time you order it and ship it to Amazon, it's going to sit there maybe 2 or 3 months and then start selling. Like, that's not bad. So you can look for some of those seasonal things in here as well. Okay. So that's the Be the Only Seller. The master search is very interesting. It is much more advanced. We're probably going to bring in one of the owners to do a little master search for us. What you can do with the master search is some folks say, and I've seen this a couple times, like, okay, I liked Nepeto, but I do most of my searching with Keepa. And that's great. Like I love hearing that people are using Keepa to search because it's such a, not many people use Keepa to source, and it's such a powerful tool for it. And we already all have Keepa. I'm assuming you all have Keepa. If you don't yet have Keepa, go get Keepa. This is like one of the, there's nothing that's required to sell on Amazon, but this is as close as it gets. Everybody needs Keepa. There is no replacement. If something calls itself a replacement for Keepa, get rid of it because they're lying to you. There is no replacement. Anyways, so let's say you're doing like a Keepa product finder. And you actually, oh, you know what? And you can do this any different way, but you could do like a top seller list. All right. So here's, let's see, let's do product viewer. Where's the product best? This is the button I'm looking for. All right. And let's do, how about electronics? All right. So this is going to be the top 1,000 products that are currently selling in electronics. Now, what you can do here in Keepa, and this is true whether you're using like the Keepa product finder or Keepa deal, whatever you're doing on Keepa, you can do this with. You can export this data. So what Keepa showed us, Keepa is only showing us the Amazon side of things. It's not showing us where to source these things from. It's only like half of the picture. And then you have to do the legwork of, okay, where can I find Apple AirTags? And are they profitable? Like, I know that it's selling, and I know it's selling very, very quickly, but that's only about a third of the puzzle. We need to know where to find it, and we need to know if it's profitable. Okay, so Keepa is showing us that first third, and it is incredibly good at that, but it doesn't show you anything for the second two. Okay, when you export this, you just export it. You only need the ASINs in a CSV, and then you upload that into the master search, and it will search all of those ASINs and compare it to its database, and it will find you anytime any of those products appeared on any of its websites that it can scrape. Okay, so really interesting stuff. Similarly, if you do wholesale or you have distributors, you can upload like a pricing list. So if you just have a list of UPCs and prices next to those UPCs, you can upload it here to the wholesaler list, and it will then, so it's no longer scraping websites, it's just comparing everything to Amazon. So this is a part of it as well. The Amazon to Amazon flip section is fantastic. This is another one. I love doing Amazon to Amazon flips. I think they're phenomenal. I'll be doing a ton here on Monday. I'll probably open up some kind of like 1-day leads list type thing. We did this last Prime Day and killed it. A ton of people came, loved it. But you can do these Amazon to Amazon flips where what we're looking for is, you see normally the price is up here at like $30, and for whatever reason, probably Black Friday, today's price is $15 or sorry, $18. Okay, so it finds those things. And then what's great about Nepeto is it's comparing all of that, and it's running the fees for us. So we see like, oh yeah, if you flip that, you'll make $2.15 or 12% ROI. Now, would this be a good flip? No, I wouldn't try to flip that. That's not high enough profit. That's not high enough ROI. But this is the example of what we're looking for. Okay. All right. It's Amazon to Amazon flip. Couple Amazon to Walmart if you're doing Walmart stuff. CSV. I don't actually think I've ever used this, so I'm not. Personally, I'm not sure how this differs from the wholesale stuff. It's not what I use it for. I keep things stupid simple. I do 95% of my stuff here, about 5% of my stuff here. Occasionally, I'll use the master search over here, and occasionally I'll use a storefront scanner over here. Okay, so that's the basic overview of all of the stuff that the Nepeto scraping tool can do. Now, a couple things that I want to do. I want to spend a good chunk of time this evening going in. I want to get any settings that we need set up ahead of time so that you're actually finding stuff correctly and the numbers or calculations are all coming out correctly. And I want to find some stuff for you guys that you can sort of take home and profit now and show you guys like, okay, I want you to go do this yourself because you'll find different results than me, and we'll find some stuff. Before I hop into that, let me jump over to the questions real fast. See if there's anything pertinent that I've missed so far. Let me see. Let's see. What's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Monica, welcome. Jennifer, welcome. John, they want someone to replace Inventory Lab. Scan Power is a great alternative to Inventory Lab. Let me see. Or you can use ChatGPT and try to code something yourself. I've known a couple folks who've done coding using ChatGPT and have made their own programs for these various things. Because you just need to pull the Amazon API and the Keepa API. It's a bunch of technical mumbo jumbo, but it is doable. All right, Liz, no problem. Signed up 2 hours ago, newbie here, awesome. Yeah, Nepeto is, so we already had that half off using our, here, I'll stop sharing my screen here for a second. Let's see. Yeah, we've had that half off thing now for a bit using the QR code. Down there, that half off of everything else, it's people who are also selling on Walmart can click on that as well, and they don't need to use our special coupon. Or if they happen to miss this and they're coming in tomorrow, I think this is probably going to expire midnight tonight if I had to guess, and they'll have to use that QR code up there. All right. Let's see. For those who do not yet have Nepeto, your Husband's coupon stacks. Whoa! It does. Interesting. That's good to know. Is there a way to save items that I found for digging later? Yes, there is I'll show you that when we start scanning stuff. Let me see. Yep. Welcome, Tracy. Welcome, Scott. Let's see. Only the ultimate plan. I believe that the master plan. I forget all of their different pricing tiers. Advanced, Pro, Master. I think the ultimate plan is referencing getting all of the Nepeto stuff and also the Walmart stuff. I think they can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. I think one or two of them are hanging out here. Let's see, and it should say profit calculator. I think that's only with the master plan based on what I'm reading here. Yeah. But the great thing, like, everyone is going to eventually need a profit calculator for doing OA. And if you're doing retail arbitrage, you're going to want a scanning app. It's something you're going to want anyways. And so, like, if you just, if you're getting the tier of Nepeto that gets you all that stuff, then you don't have to spend extra money on anything like Seller Amp or Rev Seller or, I don't know, any other retail arbitrage scanning apps, things like that. Ask, is Nepeto similar to Seller Amp? How's it different? That one pillar. So I said at the beginning, there's 3 pillars. There's the web scraping. That's the meat and potatoes. And then they add this bonus extra free thing on the RA app and the OA app. Those 2 things, identical functionally to Seller Amp. No one needs to buy Seller. I've never actually liked Seller Amp. Yeah, I don't think it's a very good tool. Anyways, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to say you don't need to get it because you're already getting everything that it does for free. And you might as well get something for free. Let's see. Yes, it works on Android. Let's see. I found a lead on Nepeto that I put on my leads list, and 2 people are still. I love that. Here, I'm going to show this. Tracy said she does a lead list. She found 2 using Nepeto, and people are still replenishing those products 4 months later. So for the people who are like, oh, everything always tanks or it gets so saturated, like it's impossible. That is literally impossible. That's not how this can work. You can't scan 1 million UPCs per 24 hours and have stuff be oversaturated. That's too many products. Yeah, some stuff, of course, it's online arbitrage. Of course, things will tank. It's not everything. It's not like, oh, nothing will ever tank if you use Nepeto. That's not what I'm saying. But it's not the scraping that's causing the issue. Yeah, it's you download the app and need to send an email so they know you're on the plan. Yep, exactly, Cheryl. So you use the same email. You have to. It's a little bit funky how they have it set up, but just send them an email. Say like, hey, I just signed up for this. Here's my email, and you'll be squared away. Okay. Does the ultimate monthly remain? So my understanding is it's like for life. They can correct me if I'm wrong. That was my understanding, the way that I read it. All right. Can you run a live search on any website? No, there is. I'll show you this here in a second. There's, I think, 30 or 40 websites. Yeah, I think there's like 30 or 40. Yeah. Let's see. Is there a list of stores? Yes. Okay, let me just show you that real fast. So let's see here. Share my screen again. And then I think we're almost good with the questions, and we'll dive into finding some profit for you guys. Okay, so you asked 2 things. Can you search any website? No. Because every website is coded differently. Like a web scraper has to be taught how to scrape a website, and every website is created differently. So like the specific location of like, okay, here's where the UPC is located, or here's where the image is, here's where the title is located. Every website is fundamentally coded differently, unfortunately. So click here to open a list of supported websites. So here's your list of things that the live search. This is not every website that they scan. This is just specifically for the live portion. So some big ones here, like Kohl's, really easy to do. GameStop, Dick's Sporting Goods, really easy. Ace Hardware. So a couple really good ones in here. Yeah. I tend to stay away from things like, I don't even know if it's Target and Walmart. I personally, I try not to do OA from Target and Walmart because it's just so easy to find that. I ignore those entirely. I don't even look at them. But they are on there as well. Okay, so those are the ones that you can do there. The live searching, I believe that there is a list. Yeah, you can filter suppliers here. These are all of the suppliers that they are scraping 24 hours a day, like every single second of every single day. These are all the different suppliers. And if there's a website where you're like, oh, it's not on there, but I would love to see this on there, suggest it. So I'll do this again, ColourPop. All right. So you can send suggestions. Roughly every month or so, they're adding a bunch more. I think last month they added like 20 new ones, I think. So every single month they're adding more and more and more. All right, good question. We're just about through here, and then we'll dive in. For those storefront scanner, that will scan the whole catalog that they are currently. That will scan everything that they currently have in stock, that seller has, and then it will try to find where it's coming from. So it's not going to find every product that they're selling. It will find every product that they're selling that came from a website that Nepeto has scraped, assuming like the UPCs match up and all of that. If someone is selling something where like it has no UPC or it came from a website like ColourPop, for example, like it's not going to pull those things. So it can't find everything because some things are just unscrapable. But anything that has existed in the Nepeto catalog that then also exists on that person's storefront will populate. All right. Let's see. Yeah, you can ask for new suppliers anytime. How is it different than tactical arbitrage? Very similar. So they're like direct competitors. I used TA for about 6 years, maybe 7 years. I've used it for a very, very long time. Then I used both TA and Nepeto for quite some time. And I've done classes on TA. I promote TA. I've done lots of tutorial videos, all of that stuff. For my personal business, I have now moved entirely over to Nepeto. They're functionally very, very, very similar. TA has some strengths that I think are in certain categories are better than Nepeto. Nepeto has certain strengths that are better than TA. Nepeto's strength, the ease of use. One of the biggest complaints with TA that people would have is it's so complicated. Like it would take you like 2 weeks to figure out how to use tactical arbitrage correctly. And it was just so hard to get into it. Nepeto, we haven't even gotten into like, okay, day 1, hour 1, minute 1, this is what you should do. We haven't even gotten to that yet. I'm going to show you how stupid simple this is to find stuff. It's so much easier to use. It's ridiculous. Also, I would say Nepeto's new features, like the speed at which they're adding new stuff. Nepeto is brand new. They are the new kids on the block. TA has been around for, I don't know, like at least 10 years, I want to say. Nepeto has been around, I don't even think they're 1 year old. So brand new. Let's see. Suzanne, yeah, you'll have to ask. I think Edo is here in the chat. You'd have to talk to him. I'm not sure about retroactive stuff, but I'd say email their support or talk to him. Okay, let's dive into some actual scanning here. Okay, so first day, you got Nepeto. You've never used it before. All right, we'll start a fresh thing right here. You've never used Nepeto before. You just go to nepeto.com. You just bought this. You're like, okay, what the heck do I do? Forget that all this other stuff exists that we just spent 30 minutes talking about, and just start here. 95% of your time is going to be spent right here, okay? So click on this button, or you can click on this button. They both go to the exact same place. And here we are. If you want to put in further filters, you can. It's not required. So like let's see. I see Crocs, for example, from Journeys. Profit of $3, ROI of 12%. I don't, personally, I'm never going to sell a shoe with a 12% ROI because there's so many returns and things like that for shoes. I need my ROI to be significantly higher. So I could, if I wanted to, put in an ROI filter. Let's say a minimum of, I don't know, 23% or 30%, whatever your minimum is for ROIs. Now, keep in mind that usually Nepeto is not pulling coupons and cashback and things like that. So you could, like this says 12%. If Journeys has like a 20% coupon and like a 10% off gift card and Rakuten has that for 10% off, this 12% now became like 50 or 60% with all of those things stacked on top. So if you are filtering out by ROI, you will skip things that other people are also skipping, which become very profitable when they can be stacked. But just for the ease of use, let's just put in something like 30% here to keep it stupid simple, okay? So we'll put 30% in there. All right, and again, every time that we do something new, it refreshes this page. So this is all new stuff every single time that we check it. All right, let's see, next. I see this is a CD vinyl that's ranked almost 400,000. This is just, it's just, here, let me, I'll pull up the, also a cool thing about Nepeto. It has a pseudo Keepa chart built in. This is not a replacement for Keepa. It's not like, oh yeah, I can get this instead of Keepa. That is not at all what I'm saying. This is an additional thing as a part of Nepeto. But I can see this is sold, this green line is telling me this is sold probably one time in the past 90 days, which I don't love, okay? So if you're like, it keeps showing me stuff with a really high BSR that I don't like, you can either do a max BSR, the bestseller ranking. So we could put a max of, say, like, I don't know, 350,000, something like that. Or you can put the percentage. So if you noticed here, this said this was in the top 4%. If you are searching one specific category, personally, I find that using a number is better. So for example, if I'm searching clothing, I'm usually trying to stay under 200,000 for my ranking in clothing. I'll sometimes go above that, but generally speaking, that's what I'm doing. Now, 200,000 is like, I think that's like 0.3 or something percent, or maybe 0.5% as far as the BSR ranking is concerned, just because there's so many articles of clothing on Amazon. Now with vinyls, I mean, I would be okay with, say, maybe 70,000 or so, and that would probably be like top 1%. So if you're just searching multiple categories, my recommendation, if you're trying to narrow things down by BSR, put like 1 or 2% here. If you're searching wide categories, if you're doing something specific, then you can put a high-end limit, a numerical limit on that, okay? So we've input that, and again, boom, it's refreshed everything with both of these parameters set. So it has to be above 35% ROI when it did its calculations, and it has to be above that BSR. Oh, real quick, something that I need to mention, because if you use this from day one and you don't do this, you will see slightly incorrect results. So when the first time you do this, it'll save it, just do it once and then it'll save it. The very first time that you go into searching, click on this like extra data tab, and you see over here on the left side, this inbound shipping. Make sure that you set this up, or else it'll default to $0 per pound. It will assume that you're somehow sending things for free to Amazon, and that's not how this works, okay? I recommend either a 0.5 or a 0.6, like 50 cents or 60 cents per pound of cost to ship things to Amazon. Or if you know your exact metrics, like if you're doing this at scale, you could probably put like 27 cents or 39 cents, whatever it is. The larger you are, the more that you're selling, the lower this will be. The smaller you are, the higher this will be, because there is a base cost per box. So if you're brand new and you're trying to send in 4 products, well, it's probably going to cost you about $10 just for the box to ship it into Amazon. It doesn't matter if the box weighs 2 pounds, it's still going to cost you $10. So that's where like the larger sellers get a little bit of an advantage, because they can fill that box, make that box like a 45-pound box, and now they're paying maybe $20, $15 for a 40-pound box, whereas you're paying $10 for a 2-pound box. So that's where some discrepancies come into play. But generally speaking, I think a 0.5 or 0.6%, 50 cents or 60 cents per pound is a good metric. Once you've set that, forget that, and you're good to go, and you never have to touch that again, okay? It will remember those settings, okay? So all we've set 3 things, okay? We came in here and we set our shipping costs, boom, done. We put in an ROI filter, which is optional. You don't have to do that. And a BSR filter, optional. You don't have to do that. So I've flicked 3 levers. That's it. Now we're off to the races. Okay. You can go in here. Now there are other filters as well if you want to filter stuff. And actually, I would say for a beginner, this is a really, really meaningful one. Filter out gated ASINs. If you connect your account with your Amazon account with Nepeto, it can see if you are gated on something, and then it will just exclude that from the search results. Every once in a while, you might get a false positive, but I don't think you would ever get a false negative, if that makes sense. Okay, so you can filter out gated stuff. Usually you're going to be filtering out of stock. Now there's some niche scenarios where you can do this. Maybe I'll go into that in further days when we get a little bit more advanced. You're probably not going to click that. If you want to sort stuff by newest first, you can do that. Include that. Filter out Walmart, because you're never buying from third-party sellers on Walmart. It's okay for Amazon, in my opinion, but never on Walmart. If you have sales tax, you can put that in there. Or if there's specific brands, so like no one can sell Levi. Personally, I can't sell Pyrex. This was a random private label brand. I don't use this personally a whole lot, but if there's certain brands where you're like, I can't ever sell Nike, or I can't ever sell Adidas, I can. But if you can't, put those in there, and then those are permanently saved. Okay. All right. So we're off to the races at this point. We've put in our filters. Very, very simple stuff. This is not rocket science. You don't have to have like a master's degree in IT to figure out how to pull all these different levers. It's not information overload. Again, Nepeto's strength is the simplicity. I've put 1, 2, 3, and then maybe if we want to count this 4 for like filtering out gated stuff, maybe 4 filters that I've put in, and we're good to go. Okay. So, right here, I see this from Yankee Candle, profit of about $2, which is 60% ROI. This is low, but if this is moving quickly, which it's not, Witch's Brew, so this is kind of like for Halloween, I'd probably pass on this. It's not quite enough profit. I'm okay with selling something for $2 if it's selling quickly and there's very little prep, but this is probably something that's glass that I'm going to have to wrap, and it's selling pretty slowly based on that, so I'll skip that. It's profitable, but it's not something that I personally want, okay? Next up, we've got Home Depot, DeWalt. Pro tip real fast, you can use Home Depot or Lowe's to get ungated in any of these things. Go to the in-store, go to the Pro Desk, set up a Pro Desk account with your business information, use your Amazon business, like your EIN number, all that stuff. And then when you place a purchase, use your business account at Lowe's or Home Depot to do that, and then ask them for an invoice. You can do this in-store super easily. You just go up to the Pro Desk, like, hey, I need an invoice for this. They'll print you out an invoice, send that to Amazon, boom, done. So if you're gated in DeWalt, you're no longer gated in DeWalt. You have a legitimate invoice that works for that, okay? So from here, I see $17.97 is our price, 36. Let's check it out. All that looks good to me. So I'll open up Home Depot and I'll open up Amazon. I just want to confirm this data. You never just want to like go in blind. Some people, and someone mentioned like, oh, can I save things that I find? You can save them. So you can, yeah, you can click that little heart. They have the option to hide from others. I didn't go over this yet. And they recently just changed this option. So if I think it's 3 people, again, if I think Ito's here in chat, it's like 3 people or maybe 5 people, something like that. If a certain number of people click this button, it will be hidden from everybody else. Now this costs like an extra little token. You can buy these extra tokens. So if you have like a replenishable product and you're like, oh, this is a great replen, and you want to hide it from other people, you can do that. I don't feel like this is used very often. And now that it requires a couple people to do, it's not like abused, but yeah, it costs a little bit of extra money. I don't feel like this is hiding all of the good results. This is literally the second result on the page. I think this is going to be a winner. Yeah, the people who are like, oh, I can't find anything, I don't know what they're looking at, because if this was like a brand new fresh day 1, we set 3-4 filters. That took us 30 seconds. And then the next 30 seconds, we said, we don't like that. And then the following 30 seconds, we saw this. And it's like, I think this is good. All right. 36.44, 100 bought in the past month. 17.97. Ouch. out of stock. Dang. All right. You could get notified, but that is unfortunately out of stock. Okay, and that'll happen especially here on Black Friday. You could set some alerts for that if you want. Good, but unfortunately out of stock. What's interesting is that's not, it's not like on sale or anything either. So my guess is that might come back in stock, or maybe there's a different website. You could do like some reverse sourcing if you wanted to. You could search Google, see if there's other websites, and that's how you add. And this is true of any tool. If you can add a human component to your searching, to your sourcing, you're going to start finding so much. So for this human element, I hit a dead end. Let's just peek around the corner of this dead end. See, all right, is that any other websites? Anybody else have this for sale? ACME Tools looks like it has it for $19.99. Would we still, and maybe, no, that looks different. Circle C Supply looks like it has it as well. So yeah, let's see if this is actually in stock real fast for $19.99. And would that still be profitable even? Add to cart. Yeah, I can add that to cart. And if there's extra coupons, things like that, sweet, in stock. Okay, so let's just run these numbers with $19.99. Are we still good? Yeah, we're still good. We're over 30% ROI, $6.28 profit, and this sells at least 100 times per month. And we're getting that. This is like infallible. That's not an estimation. It's coming directly from Amazon. Amazon is telling us that's how many have sold in the past 30 days, between 100 and 200. And that's pretty consistent. It consistently sells about 200 a month. Now, it is spiking a little bit in price, so I don't expect this. Yeah, this is the most expensive it's been all year round. I don't expect it to stay this high, but if you have like the ACME Tools near you, or maybe Blaine's Farm and Fleet near you. Actually, that does look like it's the same thing. If you have any of these near you and you can get it now and you list it FBM now, I think you can absolutely capture some of these sales, because people are looking for gifts for their dad, gifts for their handy mom, or gifts for their husband, gifts for their, like, this is a stocking stuffer kind of a thing for Christmas. Okay. And if you're getting it for 19, or Blaine's had this for $12.99 right there. That's a crazy deal right there. Yeah, 100% ROI, $13 profit. So look, all we did was add just a tiny bit of that human element to this, and we found something profitable. So we used Nepeto to find the start, and it was like, bummer, it's out of stock. Instead of just immediately moving on, it's just a real quick, let's peek around the corner. Is there anyone else who's selling this? And boom, we found it. So let's add this. I'm gonna make a sheet real fast for us. In your Google Chrome extension, you can set this up so you can like put some settings. So I can copy all of the data that I want, and then check this out. I'm going to open up a new sheet, and then I will paste right here. So we've got the name of the product. We've got the sales rank. We've got the sale price. We've got our buy cost. We've got our profit. We've got ROI. Actually, let me move this down one. So this is rank, sale, buy, profit, and then ROI, okay? And then I will share this with you guys if you are interested. All right, make this big, pull this down there, boom, done. Okay, now we got ourselves the start of a list, okay? So, and here, let me just share this. I don't need to name it. Anyone with the link can have this. I'll copy the link and I will paste this in chat so you guys can follow along here. Okay, so we found one. Let's say you just buy a couple of those and you do this FBM to try to capture some of those Christmas sales. I don't know, let's say we do like 5 units. I think that's reasonable. So total cost, 64, total sale, total profit, 65.50. Okay, so let's just keep track of this over here. I'm gonna do a totals so far. All right, 65.50. We'll start there. All right, so this, I've done a lot of talking, obviously, so sure, we're an hour into this, but realistically, if this were you saw everything that I did, I feel like this is within the first 5 minutes or so. So 5 minutes, you bought 5 of those. I think you could reasonably sell 5 of those in the next 30 days. Boom, we're good. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. So again, you see my screen. I'm not trying to like pull a switcheroo. I'm not doing all these like, oh, here's my secret settings for this. Here's my secret things for that. Like this is so stupid simple and so stupid easy. I want to like sit down. If you've used Nepeto and you're like, I just can't find anything. Can you like explain to me your process? Were you clicking on what I clicked? Were you looking in somewhere else? Maybe I want to help you guys be able to do this. This is how I use Nepeto. This is like the stupid, simple, easy part of it. Yeah. Oh, great point, Ido. When you find a product, if it's a mismatch or out of stock, whatever it is, you can click this little report a mismatch or out of stock problem. If you find 50 of those, you see I found 6. It's kind of like a little mini game I like to do with myself. If you find 50 of them, you get a free subscription. All right. So like, this is another thing. This was just genius by Nepeto. Comparing them to all the other web scrapers I've used. There's a lot of mismatches out there in web scrapers. And Nepeto sort of puts their money where their mouth is. Like, listen, like they've done a really good job of getting rid of mismatches. They're so confident in it that if you find 50 of them, first, everyone that you find, they will learn from it and make their algorithm better. And secondly, if you do actually find 50, then they'll just give you the product for free because it's like you're helping them make it better. So you're basically an employee at that point. Okay, so I love that feature, that sort of report button. Okay, next on our list, I see Reebok. I can sell Reebok. Shop WSS. I can shop at WSS. You'll probably have to rebox this, just a pro tip from Shop WSS, but that is completely fine and TOS compliant. With shoes, you are allowed to rebox shoes. So we see here now, specific to like clothing and shoes, every web scraper is going to struggle with this because UPCs can get a little bit funky between websites. So it might be pulling like the buy cost from a size 10, and then it might be pulling a sale price from the size 6, for example. Every web scraper does this because it's not really the web scraper's fault. Again, because all of them struggle with this. It's the website and it's how the websites are coded and how Amazon's code, all of that. So it's how the UPCs are matching up. They're getting some false positives there. I will always look into shoes and I'll always check it for myself. Let's see. I see here. This looks, it's high for October, but it kind of looks normal for, yeah, this is normal for the rest of the couple, it's been on here, what, 6 months almost, 5 months? So $69 is our sale price, and $29.99 is our buy cost before any coupons or anything like that. Okay, and we've got like Rakuten up here, so it's extra 3.5. Oh, Top Cashback has 7.5. That's huge, actually, guys. If you're not using Rakuten or Top Cashback, let me know. Shoot me a message on Facebook, and I will send you a link, and you'll get a free like 20 bucks or 30 bucks or something to use at the very first time that you try it. But yeah, you should be using both of those websites. All right, so let's just match this up real fast. We are looking at the size 6.5 of this pink one. They have the 6.5 in stock. All right, good. 29. Whoops. Go over here. Just double check everything. $29.99. Good to go there. I'm happy with that. 2 left in stock. Yeah, I'm good with that. For things like shoes and clothing, yeah, I see like Amazon, it says they have it, but they're out of stock. So they don't have the buy box. That's a larger seller. Yeah, it's interesting. This is a very small seller. They have 12 ratings and they have the buy box right now. So you don't have to be a massive seller to get the buy box. So yeah, it's interesting. With clothing and shoes, I usually am only purchasing 1 or 2 per variation. Okay, so this was like the size, what was it, size 6.5, I believe. A quick way to check the other variations. I'm just gonna, back here on the Amazon listing, I'm gonna click on variations, and there's probably ways that you can do this in Nepeto as well. Again, like I said this right at the beginning, I am by no means like a Nepeto savant. I don't own Nepeto. I just use it, and I'm showing you the parts that I use and my processes for doing this. Let me see. Okay, so I see a lot of other colors. So let's just narrow it down. What was our color called again? Vintage chalk. Okay, so I'm going to click this button, deselect all, scroll down to the V's, vintage chalk. There we go. All right, so this is showing us all the different sizes for this. We want it at that $69 price point. So that's a no. This one's a maybe. It's not there currently, but it might go back there. Actually, you know what? Pretty much all of these are, they're low right now, but their normal price is a little bit higher. Looks like the size 9 is also up there. So if your plan is just for like doing this today right now, I would say the size 9 is a decent bet, and the size 6.5 is a decent bet. I think all of the others could sell maybe, but they're a little bit more of a gamble because you're counting on the price going back to what it was historically. The size 8 is selling 50 plus per month. It's priced low currently, but we see back here in September, October, it was up there at $68, which would be profitable. So yeah, very interesting. I think that was the only one that specifically said that. But yeah, I would probably get one of the 6.5 and then the 9 myself. And then if you're a little bit more of a gambler, maybe get a couple other sizes that you think will go back to a more normal price of $69. Okay, so I'm going to take our profit here and just multiply it by 2. So profit of 20 and some change. I'm going to say we get the size 9 and the size 6.5. Okay, this would be like if I were sourcing, or if you're a new person sourcing, there's 40 bucks. Okay, so we're up to here. Let me see. Equals sum that. Did I do that right? Ah, no. Let's see. What line is this? L6 through L20. There we go. Okay. So this is going to be our total thus far. Our goal here is find $1,000. During the next 3 days, we want to find $1,000. We'll find a couple more things. I know I said I'd only be here for about an hour, but we just barely got to the meat and potatoes of this, and this is the part that I love doing. Okay, so we're gonna go a little bit late here. I apologize if you're on a timer. You can always come back and watch the replay. It's located in your course section. If you guys have signed, if you're just watching this like on YouTube, you happen to see like, oh, Nate's live. Go ahead and sign up for this free. It's completely free. This workshop is free, and then you'll have all of these things saved in a little course section. And I'm putting a couple bonuses in there, so make sure you actually sign up for the free course part. Okay. All right. So skip the first one. Second one was a winner. Third one was a winner. Haggar. This is a great brand. Most beginners can sell it. I have sold many, many, many Haggar pants over the years. So let's check this. Also, so this is a buy cost of $39.99. That is before the different coupons and things like that. Macy's, same as Kohl's, they will often have further coupons where you can get this down even further. You can also earn, it's called Star Money. That's Macy's version of Kohl's Cash. It's like their rewards program. Usually it's about, think of it like 10% back. Sometimes it's a little bit different. Activate 15% back on Rakuten. Okay, so our buy cost, Nepeto was pulling the buy cost, just the base buy cost of $39.99. But we know, without even using the Macy's stuff, we're getting this for way cheaper than that. Okay, so it pulled the Khaki Classic 434. That's a very normal size. Buy cost of 83. All right, when Amazon is selling this, they're selling it much cheaper. So for this specific listing, we are kind of banking on Amazon not selling it. Now, if you guys have followed me or watched me for any length of time, you will know I compete on Amazon all the time. That is not a metric that I care about. If you are different, you can actually filter that out here in Nepeto. Filter out if Amazon is one of the sellers. You can filter that out. Personally, I never recommend that. I think that is it's a false frame of mind where some false positives have caused people to just get into this bad habit, or they listen to a random content creator who's like, oh, you can't compete against Amazon. And that's just not true at all. I'd say more than 50% of my listings, I'm probably competing against Amazon. Okay. Anyways, for this specific listing, I don't care that Amazon is on the listing. What I do care is that when Amazon is on the listing, they're selling it for like $44. So this is one, I might sell it now, but I'm kind of banking on them being out. So it's a little bit more high risk. I'm gonna run 2 calculations here. Okay, so our buy cost here is $39.99 multiplied, and this is really cool. You can do your calculations right here in the calculator. This is the Chrome extension. I'm going to do $39.99 multiplied by 0.85. That is 15% off. Okay, so what we're paying is $34 realistically, and that's before any Macy's coupons have been applied. You could take this further if you want to do that, but go ahead. All right, so right now, our best case scenario, we buy this for 34, we sell it for 83, we make 66% ROI. Our worst case scenario is Amazon jumps back on this listing and they try to sell it for $44.99. We make negative $8 of profit. That's kind of medium risk, medium reward, high risk for me. I would personally probably pass on that. I'm not going to say that you need to pass on it. I think that, yeah, you could probably buy that and make some money. For me personally, I might pass on that. It's not that this was like a bad find. It's just now that I've looked further into the data, okay, I'll probably skip that one. All right. And we can just go down the list and so on and so on and so on. Now, we've checked, what is this, 4 products. I like 2 of those 4. All 4 of them did hit our parameters, so it's nothing was wrong here with the tool. We just did further research and ruled things out for other reasons. Now, if there are certain stores or certain categories that you want to sell in, let's say categories, you're like, oh man, Nate, I will never sell shoes or clothing again. I just had so many returns. I'll agree with you. Yeah, there's a lot of returns. Now I'm going to challenge you and say, I know more 7-figure sellers that sell shoes and clothing than any other category by a landslide. Like not even close. But if that's you, that's okay. I'm going to select all and then deselect clothing. All right. And now it's going to redo that search again. It's going to pull 30 or however many things are on this page. It's going to pull those products and show us something, but it's not going to show us any clothing. Okay. All right. We've got some Dollar General stuff here, some Sprite that looks like you can get 100% ROI, some Brand Smart USA. I don't think I've ever purchased anything from Brands Mart USA or Brand Smart USA. I don't know anything about that website. If I am buying from a new website, I think that Nepeto has probably vetted all of these places, but it's good to do your own due diligence. Like just double check websites, make sure that you're actually going to be getting your stuff and it's not like some random cheap knockoff, something like that. So if I've never heard of a website, I'm always doing a little bit of my own due diligence, even if it's on Nepeto or any other tool that I'm using. Okay. So maybe you want to sell some light bulbs. There you go. Maybe you want to sell some door hinges from True Value. Maybe you want to sell some calendars from calendars.com. Or, oh, this is a blank card from Calendars. Okay. So lots of different places. Maybe there are some websites that you don't like. Like let's say for Dollar General, it's like, well, most Dollar General stuff, I'll click on this. I'm trying to think. Some of the dollar stores will ship, and some they don't really ship anything. Like everything that's always out of stock online, and you have to go in stores. Let me check this to see if they actually ship it. And you can check. So for Dollar General, this top left, again, off topic. Oh, actually, let me hide this QR code. Hopefully by this point, everyone has scanned that QR code. If you don't yet have Nepeto, get Nepeto. Obviously, I don't know why else you'd be here. Let's see if we can buy this and ship it. Great. Or if we can check the stock, add to cart. Okay, interesting. Let's just pretend that this wasn't available online and is only in store. It's like, oh man, I'm tired of seeing those things. Okay. Well, we could do a couple things. One, you could say not interested in this particular product, and then you're not going to see it again for 30 days. But if you see this continually happening and you're like, man, like there's just a lot of stuff coming up from Walmart and I hate selling stuff from Walmart, or there's a lot of stuff coming from Dollar General and I don't want to sell stuff from Dollar General. Here's all the suppliers. I'm going to select all of them. So we will scan all of them. And then if I click on a couple, it's going to start excluding them. So it's like, well, you know what? I really hate buying from, and again, I don't care. I'm just using this as an example. I hate buying from Betty Mills. Like, screw Betty Mills. I don't want to get anything from them. All right. Or let's find Walmart. All right. I don't want to buy anything from Walmart. Target. I don't want to buy anything from Target. How about fragrance? Like, okay, fragrance.net. I don't love fragrance.net. I don't know. I never bought from them, but most of you are probably gated in perfumes anyways, so you can take those off, okay? So, and Dollar General, take off, just for the sake of the example. Boom, done. Now, redoes the search, gives us a new random 30 products to look at, and it's excluding all of those things. Now, I've seen some questions about people saying like, okay, when I got down to the end of this, and I went to the next page, I could only get to like page 3 or so, and then it just stopped loading for me. I don't know what the issue is there, but what I do know is that it doesn't matter because you don't have to click next page. You can just click refresh because remember, it's showing you a random, like a random 30 every single time, unless you have sorted this by a specific way. So like if I sort this by ROI, for example, okay, now it's no longer random. I don't recommend that you generally sort things by things like ROI and profit because lots of other people will do that. Also, you're going to find things where it's like, yeah, that's not quite, it's maybe not a true mismatch, but it's not quite a match either. It's kind of in this weird area. Yeah, or maybe you want to farm. I don't know if Ito's here is like, maybe you can farm the mismatches and sort things by ROI or profit. It's like, okay, oh yeah, these are all mismatches. Yeah, it is what it is. Sometimes things are out of stock, whatever. So you can sort it by that, but I don't usually recommend it because I want to see just fresh 30. I can hit refresh every single time, and I'll see new stuff. Okay. All right. Let me get. So we found. Let me see. We found 2 things so far. Let me find 1 or 2 more. And then I'll take more questions. I'll go through some of the questions we had from our Facebook group, and we'll meet back here tomorrow. Okay? So let me find 1 or 2 more things. Let's see. Oh, we gotta put these in again. Let's do 35%. BSR, let's say 1%. You can save your filters here as well if you want to filter out of stock stuff. All this, and you can have presets here as well. This is all extra stuff that you can do. But there's a lot of people who are like, man, I really need to dedicate a lot of time to like learning this. And you can, but you really don't need to. It's so simple. We can, because I refreshed the page, so it got me there a little bit. But get rid of Walmart, Target, fragrance. Those are my usual go-tos of deleting stuff. Just for me personally, I don't shop at those places. All right, so let me find 2 or 3 more things for you guys. And go from there. All right. This, sometimes I'll find with Newegg, same with like Best Buy, sometimes these are pre-owned. So make sure, this might just be a Black Friday deal. Okay. Oh, wait, what? It's a third party from Newegg. That's a little funky. Ships from Hong Kong. Okay, I'm going to hard pass on that. Okay, just because it's a third party. It's not actually Newegg that I'm buying it from. It's somebody in Hong Kong I'm buying it from. All right, next up, Nike shoes, 30% ROI. It's okay. I think a lot of you guys might be gated in Nike, so I'm going to skip that just for your sakes. All right, Schwinn. Bike mirror accessory. Okay, $39, $5 profit. Oh, that looks decent. Let's check this. And this is like, this really, it can replace lead lists. It can replace virtual assistants. You can find so many things so quickly. I've talked to a lot of people like, hey, how many profitable products does your virtual assistant send you per day? And most of them say about 10 on like a good day. Not always, but about 10, give or take. I can find 10 in like, I don't know, 30 minutes. So like you can find so many things this way. And that's just like the surface. Then you add the human element and you start like reverse searching stuff, or okay, like this Schwinn, From Bass Pro, are there other bike deals going on? Are there other, let's see, say we get $20 points. Okay, that's not applicable. Are there other like Rakuten deals? So if Rakuten had 15% back from, it was Macy's. Okay, well, let me just hard stop and let me check all those other things at Macy's. So like you can start rabbit trailing so quickly off these things. All right, cruise mirror. Few questions. I'm just trying to double check that this is a match. It should be. Now, the one thing I'll say is this looks like it's sort of like a matte black, and this looks kind of metallic. So what you'll find sometimes with sellers on Amazon, we're all sellers, is that people will use the wrong UPC or a similar UPC. That will sometimes happen. Or sometimes websites will, okay, color black. All right, so I'll probably pass on this because that one looks black and this one looks chrome. They've probably, and here's the interesting part, if you send this in, you could probably beat any sort of like customer complaint where it's like, oh, they sold me the wrong product, or this is inauthentic, whatever. You could probably beat that because the UPC from Bass Pro Shop is gonna match the UPC on this product. But I'm gonna report that as a mismatch. Maybe I'll get a little credit for that. But that one's silver, that one's black, so I'm gonna skip that. Let's see, Jeffers Pet. Let's try this. Feel free, as you guys have more questions, drop them in chat, and then I'll get to those in just a second before I lose my voice. All right, so 10% additional, plus it's on sale. So our buy cost is actually going to be $13.50 if we're taking 50% off of that. So I'll pop over here. This looks like a match to me, so I'll just wait for this to populate itself. All right, $13.50 is our real buy cost because we can use this Black Friday, as long as it's not excluded. I'm assuming it's not. This is a normal thing. All right, good money there. Yeah, I like it. It does say there's only one left in stock, which doesn't matter to me, because if this was a normal day, that would be a good sign. Like, oh, sweet, no one else can buy this. Like, I'm going to be the only person who flips this one. So, yeah, double check the keep it chart. Yeah, this is selling. Jeffers Pet Equine. That's funny that they are, the site that I'm buying it from is is on Amazon themselves, but that's fine. It's a little bit different than the brand themselves selling it. It's funny that they're selling it for 33 over here, and then 14 or really 13.50 over there. So this is, I see, like it has the blue and the black ones. That says turquoise. Oh, there we go. Oh, and there's a turk. Perfect. Okay. And this is another one, like the image on Amazon. It shows both right here. So you could probably, maybe that one. Oh, there we go. There's the blue and the black. Black one's a little bit cheaper at $26.44. So let's do this as well. Let me do $26.44. And not quite. I probably wouldn't flip the black one, but the turquoise one is doing good at $33.11. All right. So, and how many were there? There's 4 left. Okay, if this was a normal day, I would buy all 4 of those. Yeah, I like it. So let's put this into our sheet over here. So we're going to take this profit. Let's just call this 750 times 4. I'll pull the calculator real fast because I can't do the mental. Oh, that's 15. That's 30. Okay. Yeah, I can do that mental math. All right. So there's 30 for us for that if we're buying 4 of those. Good to go. Calvin Klein. I love Calvin Klein. Oh, something with, I should mention this about Calvin Klein and really a lot of brands. Someone asked in the Facebook group, like their IP checkers and things like that. How accurate is that? IP checkers, you need to know fundamentally what an IP checker is and how they function. IP checkers function based on user reports of receiving various things from Amazon or from businesses. So how accurate is an IP checker? Well, that's not really an answerable question because it's entirely based on user feedback, and users can be wrong. I've used a number of different IP, like used the base IP alert. I've used ASIN-Zen's IP checker. I've used SellerAmp's IP checker. There's a free one online. It's like green something, green stall, green, I forget what it is, green something. It's a website that does free IP checks. And it'll say, Calvin Klein, hard red flag, don't sell, like high risk, whatever. But when you actually look at why it's showing that, and basically all IP checkers, I don't know what Nepeto does, but I'm telling you, every IP checker that I know, they all piggyback off of each other. There's not like one that's using its own secret data. They all use each other's data. They're all, I don't know if they're willingly sharing it or willingly stealing it, but all the IP checkers are using basically the same data. Things like Calvin Klein, if you actually hover over it, most of them will say why it's showing up as red. Wow, 18%, that's crazy. For Calvin Klein, at least in ASIN-Zen, it showed a note like, okay, in 2021, one person got a letter from a customer asking them where they sourced it from because they're afraid that it's inauthentic. And that was it. That does not mean that the brand Calvin Klein is hostile and that they're filing IP complaints against everybody and that it's really hard to sell Calvin Klein. That does not mean that at all. I have sold Calvin Klein for many, many, many years, like multiple six figures. Multiple of my friends who I've taught how to do Amazon. In fact, one of them is, they just moved back here to Orlando. They're probably at the Calvin Klein outlet right now, and he's sold a lot of Calvin Klein. This is not, it's almost like I don't know. I feel like I have to retrain people. What does an IP thing mean? It does not mean that you're not allowed to sell something. Think of it so a lot of people think of it like a red light, like, oh, stop, I can't do that. It's not a red light. That's not what it means. Think of it like a blinking yellow light. A blinking yellow light means, hey, let off the gas for just a second. There might be a fire truck that is about to cross this intersection and kill you. So just let off the gas for a second and look both ways and then continue on. That's what IP checkers should be used for. So how accurate are they? Well, they're all basically the same accuracy because pretty much all of them just are using the same data. How much weight do I put into IP checkers? Almost zero. Like, I don't really check IP checkers. What I would check, if you find something that throws up a red flag, check the number of sellers and historically the number of sellers. Have there been historically lots of, Pampered Chef. Pampered Chef is going to throw up a red flag. Look up how many sellers are currently on it. On any Pampered Chef item on Amazon, there's going to be like at least 5 people selling it right now. Pampered Chef. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting off the topic of Nepeto. I'm just kind of training people now. But any Pampered Chef thing, it's going to have 27 new offers right here. 11 new offers here. Okay, so there's tons of people selling these Pampered Chef things. If Pampered Chef was filing IP complaints, could 27 people be selling this? No. And it's the same 27 people who've been selling it for years. So, like, clearly, they may have sent a letter or 2 or 3. Maybe they fought dirty with 1 or 2 people. But if the brand is not on the listing, and if there's 27 people that are on this listing and consistently been there, then that doesn't matter. So how accurate is IP checker? How accurate is the concept of an IP checker is going to be my rebuttal to that. All right. Let me see if I can find one more for you. Oh, yeah. This from Macy's. This is what we were on. Okay. So our buy cost, I see the cognac and the black. Black has every size. Cognac is just 7, 7.5, and 8. So let's hop over to the Amazon listing and see where we're at. And I'll start exiting some windows so we don't glitch out and freeze on you guys. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop them in chat. I'll try to hurry this along here. This will be the last product that I find for today. And I want to challenge you guys to spend an hour. You spent an hour and a half listening to me. Spend an hour finding your own products and making some money. Okay, that's the whole goal here. I could teach you the best concepts in the world, the easiest ways to make money, but if you don't apply them, then it was worthless. Even a free workshop is worthless if you don't actually apply it. So go, you committed an hour to me, commit 1 more hour to yourself. All righty. So we've got all that down. Oh, perfect. The listing only has the black and the brown. Let's check these. All right. So this is woo. All right. Interesting. We've got a couple reviews. Good. It has a high ranking, higher than usual, but there's only 2 color variations. And yeah, only a couple size variations. So this is split between maybe, I don't know, 20-ish, maybe 15 to 20 different variations. Something interesting with clothing and why it's so different is there's so many variants underneath a single listing that are all going into the same parent ASIN. Yeah. One thing, they do have an estimated sales per month. I don't personally use this. And if you click on it, it'll say like this specific variation says 2 per month. I don't personally use this or put a whole lot of weight into it because I'm usually looking at the Keepa chart for everything. And Keepa is usually telling me, okay, is this selling like a bunch of times a day, couple times a week, couple times a month? And I'll sort of base my buying criteria off of that Keepa data. I don't really care about a specific number because I'm never buying. It's like, oh, it says 32. I'm buying 32. You should never be doing that. All right. So what's our buy cost here? $44. Let's just punch this in. So at 102, so this size 7, very profitable. We could get the 7, 7.5, and the 8. So size 8, not profitable right now, but look at this. Historically, it's always going for 73 to about 80, 85. Today, it's going for 44. Probably, it's Amazon. Yeah, and Amazon is probably matching the price of Macy's. Amazon tends to do that. This is going to be something that I would definitely buy. I think there is a almost 0% chance that 2 weeks from now, Amazon is still selling this for $44. Yeah, you can see here Amazon on other listings. They're up here at 60, 70, 80, 70, 80, 83 for that one. So yeah. All right. So obviously the 102 is good. So the size 7. Boom. That one's a winner. 7.5. Let me just sort this. Oh, I don't know. Huh, that's weird. 7.5 is not good today, but historically 77. Let's just punch this in. Let's say we sell it for 77. ROI of 27. So that's decent. I probably wouldn't risk that because there's like a small risk here and a small reward. So small reward with a small risk. Like, yeah, I'll probably move on. Probably the 77. I'm passing there. What about the 8? It's also going for 44 historically. What if this goes for 83? 83 would be good, but the 73 is not good. Okay, I'll probably pass on that one. So far, I like the 7. Let me see the blacks. What are we? What kind of average pricing here? So black size 7, also good. Size 9 is good. Size 13, if we can get it, is good. 11.5 is good. 12 is good. So a lot of the blacks. Okay, let's say we buy 3 of those. I'm just trying to give us a ballpark to give us like some good averages. Let's say you pick your 3 favorite sizes. We don't go too crazy. That's very reasonable. I like to keep things reasonable. Let's say you pick your 3 favorite sizes. I'm just to help the math go easier here. And you sell those 3 favorite for, let's say, like 97. You lower the price a little bit. You get the buy box. Get a couple more sales. So instead of 102, 97. This is all reasonable. All right, total profit of 87. Let's just put that into our, here, let me first copy this, put that in there. And then I'll put this 87, okay? Very reasonable. We're up to $202. And I think realistically, I've only spent maybe 15 minutes-ish on actually sourcing. Most of this time has just been talking. And even that 15 is pretty generous. So yeah, I'm happy with that. We'll continue this tomorrow. And our goal, again, we're going to try to hit $1,000 of profit over the course of this workshop. You can see how fast, how simple that was. The strength of Nepeto is in its simplicity. It's in how plug and play and how easy it is to just hop right in and start finding stuff. It's incredibly fast, incredibly easy. And that's where the strength is. So you can spend time learning it, and that's great. Get into more advanced stuff once you got the basics. Awesome. But you don't need to get into advanced stuff to find profit. I did nothing that was advanced. Everything that I did was very rudimentary, very simple. And we got $200 and something in 15-ish minutes of real sourcing. So yeah. All right. We had a couple questions in the Facebook group that I wanted to get to. I've got them here in my notes. Someone said, sometimes when I do a live search on a website, it shows the item but doesn't show the price. It just shows like $1. Am I doing something wrong? I would have to know the exact, well, I'm not an expert in Nepeto, so I wouldn't even have to know that. I'm kind of guessing here. My guess is that I think actually they followed that up with, they were searching Lowe's. And I've shopped Lowe's a bunch. And sometimes what I'll see on Lowe's is when they discontinue stuff and clearance it out, they'll price it at $1, and so it's you're pulling stuff that is actually out of stock. So you could try to filter out of stock stuff. Another workaround for this, okay? So let me share my screen here again. Okay, so this person was searching just from Lowe's, so I'm gonna deselect this, deselect this. I'm going to deselect all of them, so nothing is there. And there it is. All right, I'm just going to search Lowe's. Now, a workaround, if you're finding stuff like, it's still showing me stuff that's like $1, but it's not actually $1. Okay, so let's add a secondary filter for price. I want my minimum price to be $2. Now you'll never see another product like that again. And that we've solved that problem by just working outside of the box. All right, so that should solve that problem. Hopefully the person who asked that is here or watching the replay. All right. Someone else asked, I'd love to know if there's a quick place to see the size of an item, like if it's standard, oversized, all that stuff. So I saw that, and I actually I sent them a message because there's sort of an answer to that. And soon it will be an even better answer to that. So currently, the answer to, is there a quick way to see the size of something? Beneath each of these, so you have to have this selected on, this like extra data. So make sure you have that one on. When you click on that to see the advanced data, you can see right here along the side the actual dimensions. Now, I just sent them a picture because this doesn't actually tell you like, okay, is this standard? Is it large, oversized, whatever? It doesn't tell you like the words based on the fees. So if you're thinking about fees and you know them offhand and you're just like, oh, I want to know it's a standard oversized or whatever it is, they're shortly going to be adding text in here. I just texted them. They said, oh, great idea. We'll be on that. We'll add that soon. So they're going to be adding that soon. It'll be even better. And this will pop up. It's in like the Chrome extension and everything. They have the dimensions everywhere you look. Okay. So that was the next one that I saw on Facebook. The consensus on IP issues and gating things. Yep, we just covered that. And then sometimes when I do a live search, it shows the item but doesn't show the price. It just, oh wait, I copied that one twice. All right. So yeah, that's my recommendation for the live search. Okie dokie. Let me cover any other questions that you guys have tonight, and then we'll call it there. I'll let my dog out of the room because it's trying to break the door down. Yeah, I've got some bonus stuff that I will be adding. I do apologize. We've had some family emergencies. My wife had to fly up to Indiana. We live in Florida. My wife had to fly up to Indiana, and we have 4 children that are 6 and under. So I am on solo parent duty for this week. And I have not, unfortunately, had time to do any of the things that I was hoping that I would have time for. So I got a babysitter for tomorrow and Sunday, so I can still be here with you guys. But I haven't had time to do my extra stuff, unfortunately, because I got to be a dad. That's what comes first. In fact, I couldn't even do my Black Friday shopping. I was disappointed, but it's one of those things. Like, okay, part of me is disappointed I couldn't go out Black Friday shopping like what I planned. But then there's another part of me that you just have to put it in perspective. Like, man, how like blessed are we as Amazon sellers to be able to be like, oh yeah, you know what? You can fly to Indiana to go see your grandparents, and that's cool. Like, I can basically take off work anytime that I want for as much time as I want, and it doesn't matter. Like, I'm the boss. Is it going to cost us some money? Yeah. Am I going to miss a bunch of flips? Yeah. As soon as she gets back, will I start making money again? Yeah. Like, it's yeah. Sure, I'll miss some sales. That's sad, but there'll be sales in a week from now. There'll be sales 2 weeks from now. There'll be sales a month from now. Like, it doesn't end on Black Friday. So you kind of have to put it in perspective. Like, we have such an awesome job or gig where we can just pause and be like, yeah, this is an emergency. Go take care of the emergency. And we can put the business on pause for a second. Okay. All right. Let me scroll up, see what other questions we've got here. Is there a way to import seller amp settings for profit calculations? My recommendation is, well, I mean, like, what do you mean import settings? What kind of settings are we talking about? There's not usually a whole lot of settings for profit calculations. Like your shipping weight is going to be one of those. Taxes is going to be one, and then maybe like if there's prep fees. So there's maybe 3 or 4 settings that you're inputting. I think it's going to take you substantially more time to try to figure out like an export import feature than just tax 6%, cost per pound 50 cents, whatever. Like those are, it's usually pretty quick. It doesn't, for the most part, unless I'm missing something. Maybe you can fill me in, Melvin. Unless I'm missing something, usually the profit calculation settings are very basic. There should only be a handful of them. Let me see. Once you save an item, how do you go back? Ooh, great question. Once you save an item, how do you go back to see it? That's actually, I'll show you how to do it. It's a feature that I don't really use because if I like something, I just buy it. Like, and then it's sort of safe. But if you have a different workflow from me, that's great. All right, let's say you starred that one, you like that one, and I like that one, and I like that one. I'm just arbitrarily choosing those things. Now, the next time you do a search, you can click on More Filters and click, let me see, Show Only Favorites. There we go. And now it'll just show me the products that I've found that are favorited. And if you're using this for like more replens, things like that, I could see this having some value. So you can circle back to it. I do that separately. So for me, it's not a part of my workflow, but I see the benefits there. But yeah, that's how you do it. Once you favorite it. And this heart is different than hide from others. A lot of people are confused about that. I was confused about that at the beginning as well. Ito, if you're watching this, maybe you can, I don't know if you already cleared that up, but I've talked to people who are like, oh my gosh, I thought that heart was the hide from others. No. Heart is to favorite it. Hide from others is an entirely separate button. Maybe different colors, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. Or put them in a different line. Anyway, or put like hide from others maybe down there. It's what I love about Nintendo. It's always adjusting. It's always getting better. They're so receptive to ideas and feedback. If there's a feature that you want, you're like, oh man, I wish it could do X, Y, Z. Just tell them. Or like if you're using another tool and you're like, oh man, this other tool does this really cool thing like this, tell Nepeto, and they'll be like, yeah, that does sound cool. Let's add that in. Yeah, they're just so receptive to ideas and feedback. They're phenomenal. It's a breath of fresh air in a space where I'm used to products never changing, not really having any sort of customer feedback, not really having much customer support. Yeah, it's great. When you find an out-of-stock mismatch, you can report. Okay, yeah, we got that. Let's see. So that DeWalt kit is 12 on Amazon. Was it? Hang on a second. Where's our sheet here? DeWalt. Let me do this. Amazon.com/DP. Easy way to remember that. It's Dolly Parton. And then you put your ace in. Let's see. All right, so I am seeing the buy box at $36.44. You said Amazon has it for $12.89. I am not seeing Amazon selling this for $12.89 personally. It could, maybe that's my location. Something interesting. So buy box data. Some people put a lot of weight into buy box data. I don't recommend that because buy box data is flawed. Why? Because there is not 100% of the buy box. Like the buy box, the pie that represents the buy box does not equal 100% because there can be more than one person simultaneously holding the buy box. If I live in Florida and anyone in Florida, every time they check this DeWalt thing, they see my product, well, I would show 100% of the buy box. And if you in Seattle have the same product for roughly the same price, and for all the people in Seattle, 100% of the time they're showing your product, and you have 100% of your buy box, we both have 100% of the buy box. Well, that means the pie that we're sharing is now a 200% pie, and that just doesn't make sense. So I put a little bit of weight into it if I'm going like deep on something, but generally speaking, buy box data is just wildly flawed because it's regional. So yeah, maybe, and that's, I went to that because perhaps that's what John is seeing here. I don't see it for sale on $12.89. Let's see. With the Marmar app. Yeah, Liz, you'll have to talk to Ito or someone else about that and see if you can apply this. Like, ask them about the camp coupon, all that stuff. See if you can get the best deal as possible. Brand Smart is big, South Florida. Okay. Would you mind checking the toy category? Sure. So, all right. So I'm gonna select all of them. I don't care where it's coming from. We've still got our price, ROI, and BSR filters in here. So instead of selecting all and then deselecting clothing, I'm gonna deselect all and just select toys. All right, boom, done. See if we can find something for, let's see, who asked this? Ryan. No products. Did I do something wrong? Or maybe there's just like a weird error going on? I don't know. Maybe that's why Ryan asked. Maybe Ryan's like, oh, what the heck's going on here with toys? Yeah, let me turn my filters off here. Yeah, I don't know. Ito, I'm going to toss that one over to you, man. I don't know why it's showing no products. Maybe that's why Ryan's asking. Maybe something funky is broken right now. Yeah, anything like this, like report it to them and they'll get on it and they fix stuff so fast. I swear these guys don't sleep. Like I have like a little like a WhatsApp thing with them for suggesting new features and they'll beta test things with me sometimes. And they're so responsive. Like I don't think you guys sleep. All right, let's see. Any other questions I can jump to? How do you connect your seller? Is there a way to highlight so I can see it still? As far as I know, it doesn't highlight things. If you don't have that selected, it doesn't highlight it. That's a good idea though. So Ito, I like that idea. So sort of a combination. You already have everything here set up. This should just be a really minor UI adjustment. Could you guys make it so when, like, assuming that you are not excluding stuff that's gated, can you just add like a little, maybe like a color, like highlight the name a certain color, or maybe have a little like sticker or something next to it that says this is gated for your account? Maybe you could add something like that in the user interface. Yeah, I like that idea, John. I don't believe that I haven't seen anything like that. I could be wrong. If you already do, I apologize. But yeah. What do? John, interesting. Was retail product versus what's known as tray or OEM. It might have been used to, as you said. Oh, yeah. I'm not buying a computer part that's getting shipped in from China. Lori, I'm not sure what that means. Oh, 8A flips. Yeah, they do 8A flips. Oh, MOA. Yeah, MOA it's sort of like the Walmart version of what we're doing here, the web scraping with Nepeto, but it does that for Walmart, I believe. I don't sell stuff on Walmart really. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Tracy's been here, Ito's been here, but yeah. Let's see. Yes, Nate, it's a different item. It is a mismatch. Yeah, working 24/7. Yep. Once you log in with your Amazon account, the lock icon will be colored. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. All right. I think that was all the questions for tonight. If you guys have more questions, feel free, bring them tomorrow. We're going to be going even deeper and trying to find more stuff. My goal is to find $1,000 here with you. Like realistically, oh man, it drives me bonkers when things are like inflated to a point where it's like, okay, you're not actually, like, let's say those shoes, like, oh, it's selling 32 times a month. Okay, I'm not going to put that you're buying 32 size 6 suede shoes and selling all 36 in the next 30 days. Like I don't like that. But realistically, would I buy one or two of a couple different sizes? Yeah, realistically, yeah. Or 4 of that one thing, what that pet thing was? Sure. A couple of those Reeboks? Sure. 5 of those DeWalt's? Like, those are all reasonable expectations if this was a normal day with a normal seller. So $222 in about 15 minutes. I like it. Multiply that by an hour, and there's your $1,000. Okay, so this is our $1,000 workshop. I want all of you guys to find $1,000. Go through this, see what you can find. If you run into some issues, bring them tomorrow. We've got people from them answering questions. So Ito's here to cover anything that I don't know. Again, I am just a user. I don't own Nepeto. I like using it. I use it a lot, and I find good stuff with it for our business. I think it's simple. And so it's one of those things, like, I kept seeing so many people who were like, I tried Nepeto and just couldn't find anything. Like, are we using the same Nepeto? Like, what are these people looking at where they didn't find anything? I found $200 in 10 minutes, and we didn't put any weird settings. Like, I'm not doing all this advanced tricky stuff. I was like, oh, I know all these extra secrets that you don't. This was super simple stuff. So I don't know. I kept seeing that. I was like, okay, let me fix that, or let me show people how I do it. Maybe they're just looking at the wrong. There was one person who said, like, oh yeah, Nepeto, it didn't find anything for me. So I went back to Seller Amp to search. I was like, those are what? Because like they were comparing the calculators. It's like, you're not even using. No. We're talking about the web scraping. You didn't use the web scraper? Like, no, what's that? Like, if you didn't use that, you didn't use Nepeto. So we talked about that early on. Like, if you say the word Nepeto, it can mean a couple different things depending on who you're talking to. So it was important to identify all the different facets of what Nepeto is and all the different tools that you're getting under their umbrella. So yeah, super powerful, incredibly easy, plug and play. Yeah. Yeah, Monica says, like, yeah, I was surprised when they said they couldn't find anything. Like, what button did they click? Where were they on this website where they couldn't find anything? Because they certainly were not in the giant flashing green one that says recommended, start here, because that's where everyone should go. Yeah. Or like, if you're like, oh, I find stuff, but it's all like $1 or $2. Sure, that's valid. Filter that stuff out. Just put a filter, put a ROI filter or a price filter, or in the more section, you can put a profit filter. Filter that stuff out if you don't want to see it, or stack your coupons. So yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Love it. Amazon showed up low on the Google Shopping DeWalt. Oh, strange. Maybe there's a different listing. I don't know. All right, that's it for me for tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got to make sure I got my babysitter on the right one for that. So I'll see you guys back here at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We'll go a little bit deeper. We'll find a lot more products. We'll take a lot more questions. We'll make sure everyone leaves this workshop with a functional working knowledge of how to use this to find profit. And you can hit the ground running. It's not even like, don't wait till the end of this to start doing. Like, no, it's not even 10 o'clock yet. Spend 10 minutes. See if you can find anything before bed. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock, if you're a weenie like me, you got a bunch of little kids and you're going to bed early. If you're staying awake till 11, okay, well, you got an hour and 10 minutes to find all sorts of stuff. See what you can find tomorrow. Let me know if you found something. Let me know, like, track your totals here, guys. Just for kicks, just to see like if we can actually do this. I want all of you guys to find $1,000 worth of profit, and realistic. Like, don't say like, oh, I found this one thing and I'm gonna buy 1,000 of it. That's not what I'm saying. Realistic profits here, guys. Okay.